Hello, everyone. Welcome to Forge the Narrative. My name is Paul Murphy. I'm joined by Adam Camilleri
G'day, everyone.
and Red Powell.
What up?
Adam, you look both closer and farther away at the same time.
I am on my phone sitting in the backyard of a beautiful property in Orlando, Florida. Having just spent about a week in New Orleans as well. And yeah, I'm here for a wedding, then headed up to the World Championships of Warhammer in Atlanta.
World Champions is where we'll talk more about that at the back of the show. I know last week we talked about a little bit about the Gray Narrative coming up and stuff. I don't know if we can talk about like a solidified meta, later on in the show. But I do want to talk about, also some of the corrections or I guess additions to what we talked about for the Ultramarines last week, because we got the rules now for that. And there's some cool things coming up, but that is going to be on the back half of the show. Games Workshop was very kind enough to send an advanced copy of Blood Bowl this week. And I have to tell you, I actually unashamedly tell you, this is one of my favorite games of all time. Of all time.
I don't think there is another game. I don't think there's another tabletop game that has caught hearts and minds like Blood Bowl has. We don't talk about it enough that there are games that stop being supported actively by their proprietary company and then just disappear into obscurity. And Blood Bowl has been a absolute championship testament to the community that plays that game, because they have just decided we're just going to keep playing this game because we love it to such an extent that Games Workshop's like, we got to bring back this game. People adore it. People adore it so much. And man, the miniatures are excellent. I hear the new rules are a lot of fun, and I can't wait. Can't wait to see what people are doing with this soon.
So the new rules, and we'll talk briefly about this. They streamline some of the things that were so clunky for certain teams. Things like passing and intercepting and trying to pick up the ball and stuff like that. So I think they've made the game a little bit more interactive. Also, wanted to introduce you to this status set of tokens. So part of the game is when something was dazed or knocked out or prone or whatever, you do all these little configurations with the models. And some of it was like shorthand to communicate to your opponents. And look, it's worked for how it would still work. But now the models have also gotten like taller, more complex, and bigger, and so it's a little bit harder to kind of twist them and turn them. Plus, things are on round bases. Maybe they roll out of the square they're supposed to be on. All kind of stuff. Now they've really codified this with some status tokens, and I can tell you, as someone who I don't necessarily lean into the token game when I'm playing, but I think this is going to be incredibly useful and helpful to keep the board and game moving, in an orderly fashion.
So I think, there's been a little bit of a trend, I'd say, in the development of these tokens like this. Horus Heresy has tokens now in a similar way. Legions Imperialis has tokens. And Kill Team has them baked in. Right?
I got about to say you can't not go where it started with Kill Team having a very robust token system.
It's huge, but I think I find it helpful. I find, especially and I appreciate that they're giving us these quality tokens that, you can dress them up, you can paint them, you can do all sorts, which I think is a good direction for a lot.
They're painted in the article and they look real nice, but they you don't have to do that.
You're gonna, the obvious intent is that you should paint them to match match your team, right?
Oh, themed, of course, right. Theme them with your army.
Match your team.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of the
teams, you have to, and I have to say this. I'm gonna have to say this. If you don't theme them, the only acceptable default is goblin green. That's it. That's all you get.
Paint it for the pitch.
And if it's not from an OG 30-year-old paint pot, doesn't count.
My goodness. This rulebook is luxurious, beautiful, and you may notice that this is the first set, and this is also mentioned, is the first set that doesn't come with orcs. This mimics the old world set, and of course, Blood Bowl being in an alternate reality of the old world. But old world mimic this with Bretonians and the Tomb Kings.
I like to think that it's not necessarily like like a mirror world thing. I love to think that there's this massive like strategic warfare thing going on, and then in the background they still get together to play Blood Bowl, like they're just throwing down. I think that is
That's the
possible.
kind of the way I've always thought about it too,
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
The all the rules for the teams and stuff are in here. Like it is, you're going to be able to. Oh, I know my light's not going to give you the best shot of this. But the pages feel so nice. Pictures of painted examples of teams, and then the team rosters themselves. The rosters have changed a bit, and I think this is for the better. Is that they're comprised of the number of positions that are in the box. So if you get a team box, which is very affordable, somewhere basically like 10 models, and comes with the tokens and stuff for there, the challenge coin and footballs and stuff like that. Sorry, blood balls. Can you say that on YouTube?
Hell yeah.
Find out.
But in exchange for that, if there had to be an exchange, they made those positional players more robust, more useful. So like you're going to get the same, like, I guess, dynamic play out of just what's in the box. And of course, then your star players and everything else are still the separates, but they were always separate. And I think that's really nice that you one. I often say when I'm teaching people how to play Blood Bowl, and I've had the pleasure, sheer pleasure of demoing this to people at conventions and stuff like that. You can almost treat this like a board game. Like once you have this box here, this would be all you could still. This could live on your shelf like Monopoly does, and bring it out when you want that miniature game experience.
Yeah, I've often thought so. I mean, this is hard to say for. Is it a 30-year-old game or is it a 40-year-old game? The original edition of Blood Bowl.
I think it's 30 plus years.
Yeah, and don't at me, you Blood Bowl enthusiast. I'm not talking to you. I wish there was. You know how we have the match play and we have the more open settings play experiences of Blood Bowl. Sorry, for other games. Maybe, I wish they would adopt that for Blood Bowl. So there was just like a board game version of Blood Bowl. You could pick up, take 5 seconds to explain it to your mates, rock up and play a match. If there was any criticism I had, and I know the Blood Bowl community is going to at me for this, but it takes a while to explain and get going in Blood Bowl. But once you're in, you're freaking in and you're good to go. You're set up for months.
1986. Yeah. That's when it came out. 1986.
So it is 40 years old this year.
40 years.
No, next year. Awesome. Yeah, next year.
39. I mean, 39 is close enough, right?
Yeah. Dang.
But a game. So there have been some revisions along the way, little tweaks here and there, but the rules have largely been the same. The player experience has largely been the same for that entire time, and it truly has stood that test. Like you were talking about the veracity of the players and their love for this game. And as I mentioned, demoing it, like once you explain like tackle zones and how to roll to pick up the ball, you're kind of off to the races. And then then with the rules start to get in, like, oh no, I'm nimble or whatever, those are the types of things that do take a little bit of time. Speaking of which, things like how to play the game in this version do get a little bit more simple, but the core is still the same. It comes with 2 handy dandy cheat sheets, one for each player. So you're never that far from whatever your rules are supposed to be. And then the only complexity that you've got to worry about beyond this is your team that you choose. And if you happen to like the Bretonians so there's a bunch of things going for this box. You like the models, which is always a draw, which is absolutely awesome. Or you just like this kind of like fantasy football, not the one where we're hoping somebody else scores points, but it's kind of where you're scoring your own points. Or you like the mayhem of interacting in almost like, a combat league sports arena. It's got the whole thing there. You're dealing with the fans, you're dealing with coaching your team, you're dealing with procedures, with very tactically moving around your models around the board. And I really dig it. And I said, it is no exaggeration when I say this is one of my favorite games of absolute all time. And to know now that it's been streamlined a bit, and also, more power has been packed into some of the positional players in the form of additional special rules, stats, and or just ease of play is really appealing.
I don't know if you've looked at all the different teams, but I mean, the Warhammer community article highlights one of my favorites outside of the ones that are in the starter box. I think the vampires look amazing. I also is a huge fan of Khorne. I think the Khorne team is amazing. It's a little newer, but the models, as y'all have already described, are just like whichever faction you feel called to. I think there isn't a single disappointing faction that I've seen.
No, if you vibe with one of the teams, it's going to be it's all you need. It really is legitimately everything you need in a very, I think, accessible jumping on point. When that said, though, if you're happy with the Blood Bowl that you've been playing, from that, you can still play that. But I think there's a lot of reason to look at these new rules, and you'll probably have a more interactive play experience with your people that you play Blood Bowl with. And I think that was one of the missions of this rule set. Because the game has been kind of locked in place for so long, I think they even mentioned this in the article, but I can verify that as well, is that there's this is just the best build of these things. It's like your opening moves and opening positions are kind of all are known to you if you play it a lot, and this is gonna open that up a little bit. But if you're one of the players that only breaks it out, once, twice a year and plays like a one-off thing, you're still gonna get that enjoyment. If you're looking to do that, This is an amazing jumping on point.
I do love the structure of Blood Bowl being somewhat similar to like a role-playing game like D&D, where you can kind of play the edition of the game that you enjoy the most, but still know enough about the game, even if you even like, I'm pretty much exclusively played like First Ed D&D. First Ed and I think like 6th or 7th or something. Can't even remember. The numbers are lost to me. But Blood Bowl First Edition to Blood Bowl now, it would take you like 20 minutes to learn everything you needed to learn to switch gears and play the newest bit. Like it's actually fantastic,
especially since it's keyword driven. For the most part, in stats. I mean, like you just look at what do I need to roll? What's my keyword? How much does it cost to build my team? Like all that is still the same, and you're still looking at the same reference sheet. You're looking at one page to construct your team, and then you're off with, the races.
Yeah, and I'll say this again, again from Blood Bowl, like so there's a lot of ifs and buts on whether some games are feeders into others. Kill teams like diverged a lot from the rule set of 40K, and now it's kind of its own thing. Blood Bowl kind of stands alone in the sphere of Games Workshop games, in a game that like has never really gone away from its core, has never really stepped away from its identity, and has kind of stayed in its own sphere for the entirety of its existence. And it's really cool to see it's just championed.
Yeah. Can't endorse this game enough. The starter sets are always like a great value. If you've been Blood Bowl curious, you're going to want this. If you're an old-time Blood Bowl player, you're probably going to want this. I think if you're playing in an environment, like we mentioned, that is solved, which is by the way, I also love games like that, to where that you have to do things right, or maybe your opponent has they're playing that game theory. They're making the perfect moves, you make the perfect move, so you make the imperfect move to challenge there. I do love that. And then of course you got the dice. Like there are no sure things in Blood Bowl with the double blocks and the dice that make everything go haywire.
And then some black orc rocks up and just wrecks you, and you're like, ugh.
But some of the things I do really love about this edition is it is easier to interact with the table, and you might have a little bit more action on both sides, depending with whatever type of team that you're playing, which seems like it's going to be real fun. And I want to paint up a vampire team.
They look good, right? They look real good.
Yeah. They really do. The example in the book is pretty spectacular. Again, this book is luxurious. They're even so. Let's see if I can try to find. Yeah.
So
like
Yeah.
posters
Scale.
in the book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Scale wise, Paul, because actually this is a brand new box, and I haven't had a dirty little pause on it. Is it lining up a lot with AOS?
As far as scale the models go, I have
Yeah.
not built the models yet out of this, but I mean I have to
Okay.
imagine it's the modern scale, the heroic scale of the
Yeah.
models.
So there is like conversion scope in there. I
Oh,
mean, the models are
absolutely.
spectacular. Yeah, but there is scope for conversion in there.
Yeah, you are not wrong. And then here, as I mentioned, this is like the box will come with these two well, they'll come in the box, but if you were to buy the team, this is what it comes. That's why really accessible. You will only ever need this if you only want to play the Kimry team.
That's
So
sweet.
that is Blood Bowl, and I shouldn't say we didn't go into all the rules. You're playing football. Team kicks off the ball. You have to pick up the ball. There's challenges with that. You didn't have to get the ball into the end zone. Maybe you kind of get to take your own narrative from there. Sometimes you are a team that likes to maybe lay the other team down, or equip them with these status tokens, as maybe we refer to it now, and then get the ball into the end zone. Maybe you want to jump over the teams in front of you and get to the end zone.
I remember a particular match I played against a Dark Elf team, and untackleable is the only word I can say. I was playing goblins. My troll missed freaking everything, and then just one elf just went straight through, straight past my entire team, and touched down twice. And I was like,
Oh,
never trust an elf. Just don't do it. Just don't trust them.
never trust the net. Well, that look notorious for scoring. All right, folks. That check out Blood Bowl again if you have been curious about it. It's an amazing time to get in. If you've been a long time player, please leave a chat in the comments to let us know if you're looking forward to this new set and what's had you playing all these years. We're gonna take a quick break.
I'm,
Come back and talk about some of
I'm already hiring the earth moving equipment that I'm going to be required to defend my home from the Blood Bowl community that's going to come. I'm going to have
all
a
that
moat
shade.
ready for you.
All that shade. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back and talk about some of the Ultramarines reveals and the sweet combos and maybe a little World Championship stuff. See you on the second.
FTN is brought to you by Discount Games Inc. Please visit them at www.discountgamesinc.com. And don't forget to ask Jay about ways to save even more on your hobby projects.
Hey, everybody, we are back. Don't forget to check out our sponsors. We talked about pre-ordering Blood Bowl and some other things. The pre-order through trusted retailers is like priority, a way to get what you want. They're going to tell you if it's ready for you. They're going to be able to get some of the stuff you want. Some of the stuff sells out fast. And then work with these folks that are, they're there for you. And Discount Games has been a huge champion of ours for a long time. So for you pre-order stuff, check them out if you have not already. Fantastic people to work with. So Ultramarines. So what a difference a day makes. We say this somewhat, I don't know, once or twice a year. It kind of comes out to where our recording schedule doesn't match up when the reveals happen or whatever. Sometimes it's around like FAQs, and of course we try to make good on it the next week. So appreciate y'all's patience with that. In this case, though, it was the Ultramarines data cards up on the Warhammer community site. And so we saw the new Marnius, the new Victrix Guard, and Catus Sicarius. They're up in there, all their glory. And it turns out they can work together in one unit, which we had some assumption, but what a unit it makes. So, what are y'all thinking?
Oh my lord!
We may have lost Adam, but he's obviously he's frozen in wonderment there. So
he said it in the pre-show. They pretty much put the star back in Death Star. I think that it's a big deal. I think that this is a unit that if you thought you'd seen enough of Ultramarines, I think they're doubling down, tripling down. with this unit right here. I think it's awesome.
Before we get into some of like the cool stuff that you can do with it, I want to point out that one of the what this Death Star is capable of doing, you can have a really cool themed like entire first company of Ultramarines.
Absolutely.
And I think that is something that players, heck, I even have a buddy who that's like his dream list is first company, and now it's like incredibly viable, supported by also some new amazing models.
And it's not requiring Gilliman either. I think it's completely plausible without him.
That's a good point.
I agree. So this is a unit that, when taken in certain detachments, you have to ask yourself, what can't it do more than what can it do? Like, as far as speed, extra durability, staying power, hitting power, closing speed, this is my God, this is a super unit. And we have not, I don't know if I got cut off before, we have not seen many units of this caliber this edition of the game.
You did.
Custodies were doing some stuff. Custodies at the start of the edition, when they could take units of 10 models in their units, is something that I would consider on a level with what this unit's able to do. As far as, that multi-wound, good save, invuln profile. These are 4-wound Marines, by the way. So one better than Custodies, much less on the toughness side of things. But
they are. They're lacking the invul, though. They're lacking the invul.
Yeah. That 4th wound is a hell of a breakpoint, boys. It is so much more resilient.
The lack of invul. The 2+ save in the 4th wound.
Well, the thing is, they've got T4 base, but they've got -1 to wound if you take the right configurations. -1 to wound when strength is higher than toughness, and so that almost makes up a bit for the invuln as well. You add in access to a bunch of different durability stratagems and buffs. Most notably being armor contempt, and this thing goes up another tier in durability. Take it in spearhead.
Real quick,
in charge, or you could have.
Slight clarification on the toughness part. It's while a captain or chapter master is leading the unit, you target subtract 1 to wound. Has no qualifier on plus or minus of strength or of toughness.
Damn.
yeah, right.
That's right.
Now you do have to have a captain or chapter master leading the unit, so that it is a bit of an investment.
Did Gilliman let Calgar keep his chapter master title?
He is a chapter master. Yeah, he does. He's a chapter master. He has chapter master keyword.
That's right. It's there.
Only because Gilliman allows it.
Politics aside, you're going to want to put Gilliman probably in that unit anyway. And Kato Sicarius is he's a captain also. So you're kind of
you mean Calgar. Yeah.
No,
the
Calgar
combo
is a chapter master. Kato is a captain, and that's what you need. You need one or the other, a captain or chapter master leading the unit. Each time attack targets this unit, subtract 1 from the wound roll.
So this is company heroes times 2.
Juiced.
Attaching absolutely up to the gills. 6 models instead of 4 models, I believe, that the company heroes come as 4. And then you're attaching 2 premium characters, not 1. So just going straight to the moon. This, points depending. I haven't quite done the math on it myself. If they're out, I'm not even sure the points are fully released yet
I haven't seen them
in an MFM form. I mean, if the points are good, this thing is a staple, if not an auto take in any applicable.
How could it not be good? I mean, with cover, the way terrain and things work, you're probably going to get some use out of this. And they've got damage 2 range weapons. Now, granted, they're not taking out tanks with these, but they match up really well against almost every other army's elite units.
The article states that the rules are coming out after Warhammer World Championship.
They're up for.
They knew enough. They clever sausages there.
The download will be available after that. So.
So straight up, this is so. There's a thing. I always say this all the time. Fit for purpose, especially in the match play level, the competitive level of 140k. Your unit needs to be fit for purpose, and there are very few units that do multiple facets of the game very well. There's very few units that are both a good shooting and melee unit. There are very few units that are both fast and durable. This is a unit that does 3 things extremely well and then shoots okay. And that's wild to say in 10th edition 40k. Like, it is fast. It's faster than it appears, sorry. It fights extremely hard, and it's more durable than you think. And like, so on those 3 things, like if it had a stats bar, like a D&D stats bar, man, 3 of those bars are maxed out, and then it shoots okay. Yeah, this thing is something, and the reason we're taking so much time to tell you about it, because you're going to see this. You need to know what this thing does.
Marines are a very popular faction, as everyone knows, and justifiably so. They look cool, and this is like Ultramarines. Some of the things that got people into the game. So a lot of people have Ultramarines aren't really out there.
Yeah,
and we didn't talk about this yet. The surge move, like if they lose a model in the opponent's shooting phase, they get to roll a die and then move some extra inches. Got to be closer. Got to get closer to the enemy. But you got swords. You want to get closer to the enemy. Swords and axes.
Well, here's the other bit as well. Kato Sicarius has a built-in reactive move if you come within 9 inches of him. So this like if you shoot a melter gun in melter range at these guys, like you walk within 9 inches to get within melter range, they're going to move 6 inches towards you, and then if you shoot and kill a guy, they're going to surge into you in combat. They only need to roll a 2 technically. Well, actually, they'd have to, if you're exactly 9 inches away, like 9.1, they'd have to roll a 3. But a 3+ to just be in combat in your opponent's turn with this unit, this is something you need to know about.
So there was that modification to the normal move in the latest balance slate, where you can only make 1 normal move per phase. And the surge move is a specific type of move, not a normal move.
It's also something that can really only ever happen in your opponent's turn. A la your opponent's shooting phase. The reactive moves, in the vast majority of places, are keyed off your opponent's movement phase, either rising from reserve or stepping within 9 inches of you when they make a normal advance or fallback move. So there's a lot of ways this thing is going to be nimble. It's gonna play like a Yanara unit, guys.
I'm thinking
be like
reactive moves into your range. You move, then surge. Like there's stuff.
Yeah,
stuff.
The playbook is bordering on infinite, depending on detachment. Like really, it's bordering on infinite.
Honor or death from Kato. You can target this unit with the heroic intervention stratagem for 0 CP, even if you've already used it that turn.
No one's letting you do that.
No one. People are going to try. This will be the thing. Like, let me do some good measuring.
So the way this actually works is that you are perpetually going to try and use this unit to cover your other units from charges. So you're going to reactive move to cover, so that if someone tries to charge you with some Khorne Berserkers into your Ballistus Dreadnought, well, free heroic, and you're going to lose. Like, you're going to lose from that heroic. Stuff like that. So it's a phenomenal offensive and defensive unit, which makes me think, if those points are not astronomical, this thing, like I said, this unit is a staple at a minimum. I don't care how many points it costs, it's a staple. Whether it's an auto include, we'll have to wait and see.
You're probably exactly good assessment there. Auto include, it looks neat. Yeah. I feel like it's going to be drawn, draw the eye and draw the attention. Plus, it's a new excuse to paint some more Marines, and these Marines look amazing.
Yeah, and look, the game has gotten. We the players of the game have gotten quite good at negotiating things like reactive moves, like various other bits and pieces. Can't reactive move off a grenade. Can't reactive move off
he's referring to things that provoke the special roll to go off, and so the grenade happens in the shooting phase, but not a shooting attack. Those are types of things that he's talking about how to negotiate
like this.
and
sorry.
I think you're back at him.
Did you catch what I said about grenade?
I filled in. Can't react and move because it's not a shooting phase, but not a shooting attack.
Correct. And there are other various things like that, like the mines off in curses or things like Kazakin, stuff like that. So there's various ways to do chip damage and get a little bit of offense going on those units without giving them access to that playbook.
We pretty much got it right about the Victrix Guard, at least what we kind of thought their weapons were, but not in the necessarily right configuration. So one of them can have the dual sword, so one of them's the guy looks so beef. Like that, what a cool model. You can have 1 to 6 Victrix Honor Guard. Squad has a maximum of 6. One of those can be changed out to the chapter Ancient. The other can be changed out to the chapter Champion. And then you can add Marneus and Cato that unit, taking that unit from 6 to 8 models. What is the combined number of wounds? So Cato, so 11 between Marneus and Cato, plus 24, so 35 wounds, all with a minimum profile of a 2+ save, some of them having a 4+ invulnerable save in there. With a surge
Seems
move,
good.
yeah, with a reactive move, and then we haven't even really talked about Marneus yet, who gives an extra CP if he's your warlord every command phase. So you have basically the fuel to do everything you need. He can fall back and charge. Or shoot. It's eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced or fell back. Advanced or fell back.
Yep.
I love this unit.
So for that reason and that reason alone, this unit becomes semi-detachment agnostic. So it doesn't need to be in Spearhead to get advanced and charge, or Gladius for that matter, for advanced and charge. So you're really looking at the best durability and offensive strategies you can apply to this unit. Of course, you have Lance and extra AP access in Gladius. You have various different detachments that can really juice you up in combat. And I think it's kind of horses for courses. I don't want to say that this unit should. In fact, I'm going to sit here and tell you I don't think this unit should dictate which detachment you take, because I think regardless of which detachment it ends up in, it's already, if the price is right on the points, it's already good enough to take regardless. So take a detachment that's fit for the rest of your army, and this unit's just going to do fine no matter what.
So Marneus can lead a variety of units. So let your brewing go nuts.
Kind of all of them.
Aggressor Squad, Assault Intercessor Squad, Blade Guard Veteran Squad, Company Heroes, Eradicator Squad, Heavy Intercessor Squad, Infernus Squads, and Intercessor Marines, Stern Guard Veteran Squad, Tactical Squads, Terminator Assault, Terminator Squad, and Victrix Honor Guard. I love that.
Did I miss any? Did you miss any, Paul?
No.
So I'm sitting here waiting for the jump pack Marneus. It's going to rock up and be able to join all those plus Assault Intercessors and Inceptors. It's only a matter of time.
I think he's on his 5th model. You never know when it's going to come out. But I do like the fact that this wide range of things means that if you wanted to include Marneus in another squad, it's not necessarily required in the Victrix Guard, depending on how you wanted to do it. And he certainly gives some nice durability and killing power into those other units. And you declare your attachments, when you see what's going on the table. So there's some play there.
Yep, absolutely is. And there's a variety of different reasons you might want to do that as well.
Yeah.
Like if your opponent is just going to be playing keep away from your all game, or there's just like they're just not going to shoot you or activate any of your moves. They're just going to charge you from across the board, or they're guard and they're just going to rock up a Rogal Dawn on you or not. And that's the only really thing that matters. There's a lot of different units that you can attach to here and really mix it up once you get to the table.
You made an excellent point about the detachment kind of agnostic there, trying to get some of those special rules in there. Now, granted, it's only limited to this one unit or collection of units, but it's a thing that people look for as a high value add to their army. These defy some of the rules. They give you a lot of kit and toolbox with just these selections. Cato being no slouch in combat either. If you're on a medium frame and you have a strike or a sweep, you got some power. He has 3 blades, obviously known as being a duelist of some measure. The strike, 4 attacks, hit strength 6, hits on 2s, -3, 3 damage. Or the Tempest sweep with sustained hits 1, 9 attacks, strength 5, -2 AP, 1 damage. So hey, we talked about 120 model guard list. Just throw Kato in there. Got a bunch of sweeps. And then the coup de grace, which has precision, 6 attacks, hitting on 2, string 5, -2, 2 damage. 2 damage with precision is really, really that sweet spot, which is also replicated on the company champion in the Victor's Guard too. If you want to go that route, that is a lot of power. Precision is an equalizer against some really brick units out there because they rely on characters to give them a little bit more of a staying power or some kind of special ability. When you can roll up there and reliably kill them, and if you have Kato and the Honor Guard champion in that unit, you're going to kill every character that you come across.
And in addition, if you wanted to, you could pay a CP, and then Marnius would join the Precision Fest as well.
Oh, even better. And I do mean characters hidden in units. We've seen I'm not talking about like maybe Magnus, although I think Magnus has got to be quaking if you get this full squad of unit on him. But a lot of power. Now, granted, we're talking about 8 models. 8 models, I think you were alluding to this earlier, are containable. They can't be everywhere. They're going to get one place really quickly, and then maybe you've got to be somewhere else. But you've at least got to. They're going to telegraph where they're heading. So it's not unkillable and it's not unbeatable, but it is certainly going to make an impact, a big splash in Ultramarine list soon. So anyway, that's what we missed when we recorded the day before the cheats came out. I know some of y'all have heard that or know that before, but if you weren't excited about it, I think it is fun. I think it's cool when like notable and epic units are kind of pushed a bit, and this is a unit I would expect to see these types of rules on.
Yeah, 100%.
Now we can talk about what kills it.
Yep.
Well, before so I mean, yeah. Does this Marnius feel no pain, shrug off things?
Outside of the -1 to wound he gets from the squad.
Yeah.
No.
So
yeah,
he's susceptible to precision.
Yeah. So he's like, whereas before, not really, or a lot harder to do that.
Yeah.
Yep. Maybe get the jump on Kato. Once you start taking out the characters a bit, the unit, they're still stout with a lot of attacks, but they become a lot more manageable and something to think about. We're going to see some response.
I'd 100% be just looking to control them. Like if I was playing as guard, I'd be like, well, if I don't shoot you, you don't do anything. So as long as I am running up to you with a wide enough screen, like that you can't duck around them and charge around and stuff like that, I'm just going to walk an inch away from you and then not shoot you. I'm just going to not shoot you. I'll throw a grenade at you with my just guard unit that I'm using to screen you, and then I'll point all my guns elsewhere until such a time I have no other choice. And then everyone will be like 11.1 inches away when I try and kill you.
Line up around them in a big circle as big as you can possibly get.
Yeah.
Makes
so it was, sorry, no, 11.1. So no, 12.1. Yeah, 12.1 inches away.
Oh man.
Yeah, so it's hard to do. But that's why you want a grenade and remove it. That's why you want a grenade and try and remove a couple of models here and there before you get to the point where you have to deal with them. They're in your face and you have no choice. Because then they won't be able to spread out enough with their reactive moves. They won't be able to do as much of a, what I call the snatch and grab, as in like you snatch the advantage of your opponent by reactive moving or surge moving, and then you grab them all in combat. You just get within engagement range of as many models as you can.
Yeah.
Which is a tactic this unit is going to use. But what you ideally what you want is the single biggest activation into this unit. That is one unit. You want a 1 unit activation to try and smash this unit down, because then the surge move is irrelevant. If I kill you down to like no models and you surge move into me, it's kind of fine. if I kill you down, if I kill all of the Victrix Guard out of the unit, you're no longer -2 wounds. You lose the majority of your buffs. You're no longer a leader unit either. So Calgar's not advancing and charging or doing any of his stuff because he has to lead a unit, if I'm correct.
That -1 to wound is activated if they have one of the leaders in the squad.
Yeah, sorry, but I mean Calgar's advancing charge. Of course, you're always going to have to work your way through the Victrix Guard to get to them. But if you dunk the 6 Victrix Guard, like you grenade one away in one turn, you grenade one away in another turn. Of course, you're getting lucky on the grenades. You're getting 4s, not 3s, to remove models. And then you just activate from 12 to probably 13 inches away with a Rogal Dawn, with hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s, and then it'll be wounding on 3s instead of 2s with the vast majority of its guns because the -2 wound. And then if you just kill enough that the Victrix Guard are gone, the unit's not as big a problem anymore. So you want to line yourself up chips for chip damage, and then the single biggest activation you can into the unit. Forgive me if I'm wrong. There's no flies first on this unit either.
There's
not innately.
Yeah. So the other way to do it is to just be like, well, I am Gaz and unit of Meganobs, and I care not about your tricks, sir. Wah, 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 wah. I'm just going to kill you and just go charge into him. Rerolls to wound is going to be key here as well. And rerolls to wound is hard to come by, boys, as we know. And what's going to disappoint many people, it's going to really annoy a lot of people, is that the best units to kill this is other Space Marines that have access to, Oath of Moment that will give them +1 to wound as well.
I was actually going to bring up the Adeptus, the Mechanicus, with Call's ability. They have some firepower that could probably put a real hurt in this unit.
Absolutely can. Big unit of 6 breaches can probably reliably one shot this unit. 6 breaches in the open, fully buffed. Yeah, absolutely could make a meal out of this unit. And there's a bunch of stuff out there in the meta, and it's going to be up to the Ultramarines players out there to make sure this unit gets as much value as you can.
I mean, you could do things like, if you wanted to, go in transports. I mean, there's a lot, and this, don't forget, we're talking about this is probably going to be significant points. I mean, I'm hazarding a guess north of 500.
We're all crossing our hearts and hoping that's going to be significant points.
Which I have no insight, no nothing. I'm guessing or whatever, but there's still going to be at least over 1,000 points of other Marines around there. So it's going to be a tough nut to crack, and I'm looking forward to seeing it on the table, looking for how people approach it. Of course, I'll do what I always try to do, which is throw a bunch of Sanguinary Guard at it, see what happens. Maybe some Blade Guard.
Well, yeah. Fights first. You chuck the lance on. You chuck the lance on into the Sangard, they probably do the job. Yeah, they might not kill Calgar and Kato, but they'll do the job on the Victrix Guard almost certainly.
Not promising victory. It's just be fun to watch. And Dante's show Calgar, who's boss. This is my sector you just came into. I don't care about.
I still got my arms. You punk. Old armless Manius.
So quickly, you're going to shift gears to the World Championships of Warhammer. All of us are going to be there.
That's right.
So if you're in the area, or you're there playing in the narrative, or coming to compete in the championship, please come by and say hello. Reg will be over in the narrative area. Adam and I will be over in the stream area doing some broadcasting. You can find us over on the Warhammer Twitch and YouTube pages. So please come and say what's up. If you can't be there on site, maybe tune in and say hello from the show while you're on the one of those platforms. It'd be fun. We have a good time. I'm going to bring some top competition games. I know we mentioned this last week, but it cannot go unstated enough, is that every single one of these games we're going to feature could be a final table game at any grand tournament around the world.
A data point crossed my eyes that has been done on the likely field at this event. They have an average win rate of above 75%.
Yeah, the players have are used to winning 75%.
The players at this event have an average win rate of 75. So, yeah, man, it's wild. I freaking love at the start of this event, where one of the head judges or the head TO gets on the mic and is like, "You're all used to winning everything, right? Guess what? Some of you are going to win one game at this event. Some of you are going to win no games at this event." That's just how it is, baby.
The competition, but also the sportsmanship, and also we don't talk about this enough. The hobby side of it is still
For sure.
very, very strong. There will be a showcase.
Dude, it is.
I'm really excited for the
It is
showcase.
so much. It is so much better than you would think. People think competitive 40k and they think low hobby standards. It is not the case, guys, and you will see that. You will see that.
Yeah.
It'll
And we'll
be
try to
proven.
showcase as much as we can also on their socials as well. Take some pictures, and of course there'll be some things on the Warhammer community page. I believe there'll be some like live updates along the way, and there's a preview next week. There's a preview of things to come. There'll be online, and there'll be some stuff for the I think the people, there'll be a live presentation at the place as well, but definitely some stuff online to watch.
I just want to know if Grommas is happening again. I need to prepare my soul for another epic
Yeah.
journey of Grommas.
It'd be cool if it was. We'll see. Look, we don't know either. We're gonna be on the edge of our seats, waiting to see. I need more. I don't even need the rest of this seat. I'll be right on the edge of it. But hopefully y'all can come and say what's up in the chat or give us a wave there on site. Love to see y'all. Going to be just wonderful to talk about Warhammer all next weekend. I don't know that we'll have one of these shows because we'll be all there doing that. So your patience if you can't tune into any of that stuff and you rely on this show. Thank you once again. So please leave some 5-star reviews wherever you're listening to us on any aggregator. Leave some comments. Try to respond to absolutely everything. Love the interaction. Really appreciate y'all coming and checking us out. If you made it this far, go ahead and hit subscribe as well, wherever you are. It means a whole lot. That's what helps the show. It's what helps the show feed into the algorithm tubes to let other people come and watch the show. And that's it for this week. Gentlemen, it's a pleasure talking with y'all. Tanya, we'll be back next week. Well, the next week we're back. So missing her this week as well. It's been a pleasure. We'll see y'all soon. Good night, everybody.
See ya.
See. Good night.